Was the new song by Charles Esten, Hot One. That is the toe tapper. Congratulations. I think you hit that on the head. That is a good song.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that a whole lot, Ellen. It's probably been an appropriate summer for it. There's been some hot ones up here in Nashville, and I'm certain there's been some hot ones down near you.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that night itself might be a hot one. We'll sure play that song, so I hope people like it and come on out and listen.
I think that will be a fan favorite. Go to iTunes, download the song. Well, now I'm going to turn my attention to your alter ego, Deacon Claiborne, and the show Nashville. You guys keep that hospital in Nashville really busy. You know, we had Raina in a coma a couple seasons ago, and now you're in there with your transplant, or your character, I should say. Do people get confused sometimes with you and Deacon and think that you're actually ill and forget it's actually the character?
Well, you know what? I don't think people actually do, but they jokingly do. I had a show I was doing not too long ago, and in between songs, a slightly overserved young woman screamed out, "Deacon, I'll give you my liver." and the place broke out laughing, and I said, "Well, no offense, but I'm not sure I want your liver."
Not after what you've done to it. Yes.
Exactly. So no, people they don't get confused, but they sure have a vested interest, and they all want to know and make sure that my character is going to survive, and of course I'm not able to tell them or you anything at all.
Oh, now come on! I thought we were friends here. I thought you were going to give me the scoop. No, can't get it out of you, huh?
Let me tell you this: I won't even tell my own mother. I'm going to make her wait as well. She's going to have to see what happens.
Now that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough there. Yeah. Well,
but you know, the reason is because I know the truth. The truth is people act like they want to know, but what they really want to do is they want to find out when they're supposed to find out. You don't want to open the before you're supposed to. She knows that too. She laughs and she goes, "I know." So she's waiting, just like you.
Right. Well, I have a really serious question here, so I hope you're ready for it. I have to know this: which gets more attention on the set, Connie Britton's hair or your 5 o'clock shadow?
Oh, definitely Connie's hair. That's not even close. Connie's hair it's iconic by now, and I'm pretty sure it has its own trailer. But
its own fan club.
The 5 o'clock shadow. That's just a grizzly beard, but it has nothing compared to the great Connie Britton's hair.
Yeah. You have such a talented cast there. I mean, from stem to stern, literally. You've got the amazing Stella sisters. You've got Connie Britton, Hayden Panettiere. I mean, I could go just list them all. Boom, boom, boom. What is that energy? I know you said it's a little different than the stage, but that must be a joy to work with those people.
It absolutely is, and in a couple different ways. One is just like when you're shooting the show, I just go in for all my scenes. I'm not there for everybody's work. So when I finally get to watch the episode, I'm I get to be just as surprised and amazed by these incredible performances as everybody else does, whether it's the acting or a song. And I remember that very early in the pilot that I'd seen all my stuff and I thought our scenes went well, and I got this is pretty good. Then I got to see Sam and Claire sing together. And I got to see Jonathan Jackson perform and do his scenes, and I got to see Hayden sing, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the best part is, how great they are all around you. And then the other second thing is they're all like chemicals. So I do a lot of my scenes with Claire, who plays my niece, and I've done a lot with Connie in the past and some with Hayden. But I always love those other scenes too that aren't as normal, whether I'm doing scenes with Sam or Jonathan, to mix it up a little bit and shake it up. We always love when we get to act with the people that we don't normally get to act with, and see what that combination is like. And it's always real rewarding.
Well, I have to, again, this is serious question number 2 now, or comment. My mother-in-law, Sandra, when I told her you were going to come on the show, she told me she thinks you're a big scoop of yummy. I don't know if I'm more concerned that I've actually told you this or that she said this, so I might need to think about that. So how do you deal with
a big scoop of yummy?
Big scoop of it. You might want to say thank you, Sandra. Yeah, use it if you'd like to. I'm sure we could work out something.
Thank you, Sandra, very much.
How do you deal with that female frenzy?
Well,
are you blushing now? Are you blushing a little bit?
Can you hear a blush?
I can.
That's impressive. The first thing is that I've been around long enough to understand how much of it, and how much of the vast majority of it is the character. It's this guy that Callie Curry thought up, and that so many of these great writers have made this character that he's a good man, but he's also flawed, and tragically flawed, and he's broken, but always trying to be better, and he's trying to be the right man for his woman Raina, and for his daughter that he found out with. So that is an appealing guy that they write for me. So I understand that that's the bulk of what you're talking about, and the rest of it is just people being very nice. So I don't let it get to me too much. I spent too many years without people thinking it to think that it could necessarily be super true.
Okay. Well, I read an article a couple years ago. I can't remember which magazine, but you were talking about reaching this level, and that was when the show was still maybe 1 or 2 seasons in, of success later in your career. Do you think it's sweeter now at this stage in your life than it would have been maybe 15? I'm sure it would have been nice 15 years ago, but what about like right now?
Oh, absolutely. And furthermore, I'm not sure that I was, I'm always amazed by these people like Lennon and Maisie, for instance, who are so young but just come out of the gate at such a high level. I'm a slow starter. It took me a lot longer to not only to get the tools that it takes to play Deacon, but maybe just to use them for a while. I often think I used to do construction. I was a carpenter's helper, and I remember that first day on the job with a real shiny toolbox and a hammer that still had a price tag on it, and so I wasn't very good then at building anything with those new tools. And I think it wasn't until I'd see the guys all around me that had these old beat up toolboxes with that old rusty hammer and the old drill, and that's what my toolbox looks like now. So it just took a long time for me to maybe figure out some things, or just to sit in your skin enough to play a guy like Deacon. So I don't regret a single day it took to get here. I'm just very fortunate that I finally got to get here and be a part of this.
That's great. Now, I will have to tell you, and this shows you the gender difference. My daughter, of course, is 24, and she was all excited. Oh, Mom, this is great. My son goes, this is cool. That's Josh Porter from The Office. So that shows you the different characters that you bring to each one. He remembers you from The Office.
Actually, that's so true. And if you had kids, I don't know how old your youngest are, but then there's another group that they're so young that they've seen me on the Disney Channel show Jessie, where I played the father on Jessie. So it is funny. Everybody comes from their different place. My kids are huge Office fans. In fact, it is virtually always on in our house. They're watching some recording of The Office. It's on more than our air conditioning, honestly. So it's really neat to have been a part of that show. Those are fantastic and funny people. Or when I got to do Whose Line Is It Anyway, some people know me from that. But those have just been steps along the way that finally got me here to get to play this guy.
Chip, I'm telling you, that one episode of The Office, I have to just brag on it, where you play in the video game, and it's you and John Krasinski and Ed Helms, and you bring poor Jim Halpert in, and you're like, rookie, what are you doing to us? That's the most hysterical
you think
scene.
I'm a boss. You think I'm a boss that's angry about them playing, but actually I'm a player who's angry about how poorly he's been playing.
Right, he picked the wrong rifle or something at that time.
Exactly.
Now, I was surprised to see the comedian. I mean, like I said, you've done it all. You've been with Drew Carey and a couple of shows with him, and I remember you from Big Love. You starred with Fort Worth's own Bill Paxton. He's a treasure from Fort Worth, and a great guy from what I understand.
He absolutely is. He is a top-notch guy, and I was very lucky to get to work with him. I'd been a fan for a long time. I knew that he has, besides being the actor he is, and which is so great, the roles he's done are just iconic. He's the only person that was to play somebody who was killed by a predator, an alien, and a Terminator. Mm-hmm. So I said, man, that's it. Put that on your tombstone, because that's quite a trifecta there. But of course, he was unbelievable in Big Love, and I loved getting to do scenes with him.
That's great. Now, one last thing before we go. I'm going to read you a quote, and you're going to tell me who this is on, okay? I was her heartthrob before anyone else's. All this stuff is just a great ride we both enjoy. Can you tell me about that support system you have?
Absolutely. That is my wife, Patty. We're coming up on 24 years married, and we're coming up on 30 years together. We met in college as babies, and she was with me the whole time, from those early shows where I had that brand new toolbox, but no. And she's been there for the best of times and for the worst of times, and that's why this is so much more meaningful, is to have somebody alongside who's seen every piece of it. And she thought I was a big cup of yummy long before anybody else did.
Big scoop, and, a big scoop.
A big scoop of yummy long before anybody else did. And I thought the same thing about her. And my goodness, it's like I'm Deacon's always had that one woman, but he's never been able to land her. Somehow Chip got lucky and landed his early, and has hung on tight ever since.
Well, that's fantastic, and congratulations. That's a record nowadays for that length of longevity of a relationship. And you did mention you met in college. I believe the College of William and Mary you're an alumni from. Is that correct?
That's true, in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay. Now, are they the Tribe or the Griffin? I couldn't figure out what the difference.
The Tribe.
The Tribe.
It's the Tribe, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, when you come to Fort Worth, my husband and I are going to come to the show, because I'm a fan as well as in the media, so we're going to come to the show. Would you consider wearing a little purple and white if I were to bring you a TCU shirt? Because the Horned Frogs are big here in Fort Worth.
Well, it depends on how much purple and white we're talking. If it's a fashion touch, I know how big they are there, so I'm no dummy. My favorite team is the one of the town I'm playing in.
There you go. Very smart man.
I'm no dummy. So you bring it on. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, that's great. Well, everyone, thanks again to Chip Esten for coming on the show. Really looking forward to Saturday night. Looking forward to the season.